We would launch into this amazing conversation about you and your life and your family in Peru, and that was something that I really always really appreciated about you, was the fact that you were able to give any conversation purpose. That's a really unique quality. It's a really remarkable quality in a person.
There's one word in under a minute to describe Alejandro. It would definitely be courageous. From being the only one on the Jersey Shore to going that ridiculous roller coaster that no one would even dare to go on with you, and I'm sorry, brother, that I didn't, to partaking in our rap battles, although most of the time you said, no, I don't rap, but sometimes you did, as intimidating as it might be, to the fact that you came here from another country and went to school here, got through the pledge process right away of AK Psi. I mean, that really takes just so much courage. I learned from you to step out of my comfort zone, to try new things, to meet new people. And I'll always be forever thankful for that and for our friendship. May this be a lesson to us all that, you live once, so make the most of it. And Alejandro, you did that and then some. So I thank you for that. I thank you for the impact you had on all of us. And I love you, brother, always.
cracking up, which I think he would have enjoyed. We went into his room one time. We're like, hey, let's hang out, whatever. We showed up, and I almost passed out. I almost passed out. Like, he shut the bathroom door really quick. They don't go in there. We're like, Alejandro, what happened? What's that smell? He's like, what is that? I just came from the city with my uncle, and I had a bad pastrami sandwich, and then we died. We lost control. But then it got better because then he sprayed Axe, aka Axe, and he sprayed it all over the room. We're like, Alejandro, it smells so much worse now. Like, now you're trying to mask the smell, and I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. It's crazy. So we ended up just leaving, and even with that, like, me and Samantha are literally on the floor, like, hysterically laughing, like, in tears, and he's just standing there looking at us like we're crazy. But he wouldn't even get mad. Like, we're literally laughing at him, and he would just, like, laugh with us, knew that it was a joke. It was like that kind of guy. Like, Alejandro was so cool in the sense of that he wasn't cool. Like, in the sense that he knew that he just didn't care about what anybody thought, was just having a good time, and whatever made him laugh and made us laugh was what was important. The way we're all getting together right now to remembering Alejandro, he would be so happy because the thing that meant the most to him was this fraternity and the brotherhood that we had. And Alejandro, we're really gonna miss you. You were really special to us.
One of my favorite Alejandro memories was in the winter, and we used to drive around a lot to Target and to my house because I lived off campus and back to the dorms. And it used to be so cold, so we would just stay in the car and talk for hours because we didn't want to go outside. We would obsessively listen to Just Live Your Life by Rihanna, which is funny in itself, but Alejandro rapping was probably my favorite thing ever because it was so absurd.
Peruvian puff pepper. Although we only got to live together for a short time at Fairview, I can honestly say we have a lot of memories that we made in that house. For example, when you let the random frat guy spend a couple nights on our red couch in the living room, only to find out that he was uninvitedly coming in through the window even after we kicked him out because he wasn't a frat guy, he was a homeless bum. You had a big heart and you always wanted everyone to be happy, even if it meant sacrificing our couch. You took a plunge and you came to Hofstra, leaving your family in Peru and starting a new journey called college. In your journey here, I feel that you became a part of a bigger family than most people could ever ask for. And I am so thankful that you took the plunge and you came here because you've shown me what it really means to have brotherhood, to be my brother, and what it really means to be a friend. I thank you for the honor of being a part of your life, and I'm going to leave you here with one of your favorite phrases, let's get wasted. Love you.
We're taking a video. Taking up.
Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch, but love is not some victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
This is one of the few times in my life that I am actually speechless. It seems like just yesterday that we were studying for Professor Gutman's final. It's crazy that I won't be hearing any more Joey and Alejandro stories. But I know that you're in a better place now, and that you'll be able to take care of him and make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Let me know what's really going on below. But now you never show that to me, do you? Remember when I moved in you, and the holy dial was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So with the loss of my dear friend and beloved pledge brother Alejandro, the last few weeks have been pretty terrible for me, to say the least. I've been fortunate enough to have a great support system in the brotherhood and getting through one of these moments that life kind of just doesn't prepare you for. So with that said, I just want to say that I hope our memories of Alejandro can lighten our heavy hearts and his warm smile dry our tears, because whenever I hit rock bottom, I don't really stay there for long, because I eventually start thinking of all the great times and moments and laughs and everything else that I was lucky enough to share with him. So, Alejandro, I love you. I will carry you with me always wherever I go. And from me to you, this is not a goodbye, but just a different kind of hope.
This is a place where I feel.
Party Safe Transportation offers a safe and reliable ride to and from Hofstra University and nightclubs. It's convenient, just one phone call away.
All you have to do is call 1-800-DIAL-PTS. That's 1-800-342-5787.
This was our song, man. Every time we went out, we were in the car. We thought we were so cool. Blasted the song all the time. And every time I hear it, I remember you. You were my bandolero, bro. My partner in crime. You know, I still can't believe this happened. You know, I can't believe you're gone. I can't believe I can't say hi to you or call you or talk to you. You know, but I know you can hear us. You know, we love you. I love you, bro. It felt like yesterday we were playing FIFA together, going out, going to parties, doing our schoolwork, trying not to do our schoolwork. But, you know, what's funny, we managed to get everything we needed to do done, and we still had fun. It was an honor to live with you. It was an honor to pledge with you. It was an honor to be your friend. I'm glad we got to cross paths in life. You know, you definitely changed me. You definitely helped me through a lot. You know, you taught me a lot about myself. You know, you put me on the right path every time I was going the wrong way. You know, and I know I did the same for you. We always had each other's back. You know, I mean, not everything was good. We did fight. I would always eat your sandwiches in the fridge. You'd always eat mine. We'd come back and argue. I'd always beat you in FIFA. You never beat me, but, you know, it's all right. But, you know, we did, you know, you never truly love someone until you tell them you hate them. And man, did I hate you sometimes, but it's only because I really love you, bro. But, you know, we'll see each other again someday. We'll hang out, you know. We love you, bro. We all miss you. You know, watch out for us. This song's for you. You know?
Alejandro was the kind of person that everyone knew and everyone loved. And I think that's because he was the most kind, caring, and loving person that I knew. He loved life and everyone in it, and he always had a way of making you feel special. Even if he wasn't happy, which you could tell because he wore his emotions on his sleeve. But he would make you feel like the most important thing in the world at that point. And I remember when I got him as a big, we did this little awkward hug in the middle of the room because we didn't really know each other. And I'm so glad that I got to know him because he became my best friend. And he would be the one I would call and turn to when I was upset. And I would go over to his house and we would cook together. And we'd sit down and we'd eat. And he would turn to me and say, "Little, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's good. It's good." And I knew it would be. And he would do that for anyone. I never met one person who didn't like him. And I think that's very telling of how great of a person he was. And I know we're all gonna miss him. I am gonna miss him, and I love him, and I just wanted to say that, Alejandro, I love you, buddy, and I'll always remember the good times we had. I'll see you around, buddy.
been here myself. I know like half you people, another half way too young for me. My name is Rick. I pledged way back in '03. And I fortunately had the great opportunity to meet our brother Alejandro over here. I was very excited because when he first came to a rush, I was getting texts from people saying, hey, we got a Peruvian. Yeah, I need another Peruvian person up with me. And then I was like, oh, it's even better, he has an accent. Yes, need a fob. And I was the chapter advisor back then, I think. It was towards the end of my era. And I like to think that I had a good judge of character. And with him, I was very happy, and I knew I could just leave him be. Like, I knew he was always about brotherhood. He was always so positive, never had a doubt that even when things were the toughest, he'd just smile and be like, you know, we got this, Rick. I can't do his accent, but he was always very, very optimistic, strong, and I knew I didn't have to worry about him. You know, some of the other people have to worry about. But that was Alejandro, and this seeing everybody here is just a small testimony of how great of a guy he was, and he is. He's going to live with us, in us, and we have to remember him always. Thank you for coming. Our first speaker here is Danny. As you know, Alejandro's big, and get your tissues ready.
So, if I sound rehearsed, it's because I am. I knew I couldn't wing it today, so apologies if it's rehearsed. First of all, thank you all for joining us today. I want to especially thank those who went above and beyond to make today an event worthy of honoring Alejandro, and to all those who donated and sent messages of support. One common message I heard from several brothers was, he sounds like a great person. I wish I had the chance to get to know him. For those of us who had the privilege to call him a friend, it was just that, a privilege. For those of you who did not have the opportunity, let us share our memories with you today. When selecting pictures to display, it was difficult to choose which to exclude. In every picture, you can see Alejandro's personality. He had such a vibrant spirit. He always wore a smile that could light up a room. Just passing by on your way to or from class, his greeting would brighten your day. I can still hear his laugh in my head, and the way he would greet me with a huge hug and say, "Hey, Pee-Pee." Of the many memories I have of him, there are two that stand out to me the most. The other day I reread the paddle Alejandro made for me, and I was reminded that he too considered one of these memories his favorite. At one of the hangouts in the game room, we wound up playing a simple game of air hockey together, laughing and getting to know each other. It may seem insignificant, but we had an instant connection, and I knew that night I wanted Alejandro to be my little. Our relationship from the time Chris announced the Big Little Pairs was very organic. He shared his hopes and fears throughout his pledge process, not only to become a brother, but for the life he wanted to lead. Alejandro genuinely appreciated everything I or anyone else did for him. It was very rewarding to know that my actions resided with him. My other favorite memory is something I was not too pleased about at the time. Following mid-court, I wanted to take Alejandro out for Peruvian food, something to make him feel at home. Rick and Abe were anxious to join too and picked an authentic spot. Now those of you who know me well know I'm a very picky eater, but I trusted my little to order me a meal even though I couldn't read the menu. He asked if I liked steak and then proceeded to order me a skirt steak, or so I thought. Almost immediately after I finished my last bite, he lit up and all the guys burst out laughing. I had just ate cow heart the entire thing. While at the time I was grossed out and pissed off, now all I can think about is how he was so proud of pulling one over on me and how powerful his laugh and smile was in that moment. So, how about that pledge name? Now, it has been a topic of some conversation and debate through the years. So yeah, there's some innuendo in there, but probably not what you're thinking. It is a reference to an instance where quiet, reserved Alejandro, or at least he was at that time, proceeded to stand up and demonstrate the donkey punch. It was hysterical, trust me. But the real reason I decided to name him El Shocker was because he was full of surprises. Just when you thought you knew him, he would do something far beyond your expectations. He demonstrated his kindness, generosity, and humor every day. Alejandro exemplified brotherhood. He joined the fraternity and made long-lasting, meaningful friendships. He met some of his best friends within AK Psi. Those of you who know who you are, I want to remind you that he loved you and cherished all the fun times he spent with you. A lot of my relationship with Alejandro included catch-up conversations where we told each other stories of what was going on in our lives. Most of the stories featured you as those main characters. It made him happy just to spend time with you. I thank you for being such great friends to him. He ended the message he wrote on my paddle by saying, "You can be certain that I will always be there for you when you need me." I take comfort in reading those words and knowing he is always there in my heart. I can't convey how much I miss him. I wish we had more time. It would make Alejandro happy to know that we all came together today as brothers to support each other. I know as we move on with our lives, we'll continue to keep his memory and spirit alive.
You know, I tried coming up with a speech for today, and I realized I couldn't because I can't put into words how much he meant to all of us, and what a fantastic guy he was. And throughout the time that I got to know him, he was my inspiration and the reason that I actually graduated college. So I remember all the times that I would go over to his house and sit with him, and it would make me laugh about something or other. And you know, I always thought that those times would always happen. And when I heard what happened, it came as a shock, like normal. And like now, I'm at a loss of words. He was the most outstanding, fantastic, and loving person that I've ever met. And I think it shows by how many people are here today. And you know, there wasn't one person that Alejandro's life, or it seemed so, that he didn't touch. I would always have to walk into a bar and people would go up to him, or if I was alone, the way I would introduce myself is, "Hi, I'm Alejandro's little." And their face would light up and smile. And that was really telling. And that was most likely because he was just an amazing person to everybody he met. One thing that I always remember and I always talk about is how he was always late for everything. He was on Peruvian time. He would say, "Oh, you know, I'll be on campus in like 5 minutes, you know." He's good, don't worry. So 30 minutes later, he would show up. One time, I was heading down the shore with him, and he said the night before, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pack. So I figured, okay, he has class the next day, so he'll be ready after class. So I call him in the morning, and he goes, "No, I haven't packed yet. No, I'm going to pack. I'm going to pack before class." So I show up at his house, and he gets home from class late, first off, and then he goes, "No, I haven't packed yet." So I'm waiting in the car with Jell-O shots that are melting, and he finally comes out an hour later, and we get down the shore, and he realizes he didn't pack a bathing suit. But everybody knows that you'd always have to wait for him, and now he's the one waiting for us.
Hard for me, but I mean, just to go off what Andrew said, the reason Alejandro was late was mostly because of me. Usually, I would hear Alejandro talking to Andrew saying, "Yeah, I'll be there in 15 minutes, it's okay." And then he'd come to me and be like, "Oh my God, you need her, right?" Andrew was waiting for me, and I'm like, "Alejandro, you couldn't tell me 5 minutes sooner." And he's like, "Just come on," and he would force me to do it. He's like, "Do it, come on, it's okay, So, and then you'd be back in time, it's okay. That's why he was always late, because he would ask me last minute to drive him all the time. But, I mean, I had the privilege of living with him. We pledged together. We went through, a long time together, through all the hardships, and he was the only guy there pledging with us, so, we instantly bonded, and he was foreign, and we were like, oh, we're thinking of pledge names, we're like, everyone, all of us, we were like, oh, let's call him Fez, because he doesn't speak English. And his accent, for all you who know him and met him later on, his accent was way thicker back then. We were all like, what did you just say? We don't understand you. And then he's like, but in Peru, we do it like this. I'm like, oh, But we developed a strong friendship. After pledging, we talked, and I was like, yeah, let's room together. Since then, we've roomed with each other for years. We lived on campus together, then we decided to get a house together. I seen all you guys at the house. I'm like, Alejandro, stop inviting everybody over. And he's like, it's okay, but we're gonna go in my room, it's nothing. And then banging upstairs, loud drinking, screaming. I'm like, oh my God. But, there's so many memories. It's so hard going through this, but I think what's helping me go through it is remembering all these good times. Looking at all the pictures, seeing everybody here. I've never seen all the brothers here at one time, ever. And another brother said to me, it's for the occasion, it's not great, but it just shows how important we are, for each other. We don't see each other often. We're all busy, we all have our own lives, but just to come together for any reason, it's great. We're all still a family. Alejandro was my family. We were his family, home away from home. He didn't have anybody here when he came, and then he just developed it. It was natural. We didn't have to try. I didn't have to try to be his friend. We were always buddies. Oh my God, there's so many stories. I don't know, half of you know some of them, half of you don't. The newer brothers, but it was a great time. Every time I hear certain songs, I hear his voice all the time. Every time I go to Subway, I think of him. Because he would always want to go to Subway for some reason. And even when I didn't go with him, I'd come back to the room sometimes. He wasn't even there. I'd look in the fridge. He would have a Subway sandwich, and I would eat it. But it's only because we developed this relationship where it was like, all right, Alejandro, we're cool. It's just whatever's in the fridge, it's yours, it's ours. He would eat my things all the time and be like, it's okay, don't worry. But when I took a bite of his sandwich, everything flipped. He's like, why'd you do that? I'm so hungry. I don't know what to do. He's like, you have to drive me to Subway right now. And I'm like, all right, Alejandro, let's go. I'll take this. But many times, so many memories that like live on, you know, like even in the house. I used to beat his ass in FIFA all the time. It was really crazy. But I know, for all of you who knows or ever came over when we were playing FIFA, you could hear us from like down the street. Because he was just screaming in Spanish. And every time I scored on him, he's like, yeah, and just, I don't want to curse, but you know, he was just ripping it. And then, you know, of course, like life came, we split, like we graduated, you know, we moved on, you know, we all tried our best to keep in touch with him, you know, but distance it's difficult, you know, and you just never know, like, what can happen, and it just shows, like, how important you gotta keep the people around you close, you know, we're family. And I hate to quote Fast and the Furious, but the most important thing in life is the people in this room right now. You know, you gotta keep your friends close, family close, you know, thank you guys.
Man, this week's been really tough for me. When I look at the picture right now, it's so hard to even imagine it's gone. And we all loved him. He was a true brother, a true friend. And I could tell you some stories about me and him, but it's very inappropriate. It's my business. He's a good guy, though. I guess the best memory I have of him, not just a certain memory, but him growing up and just seeing him, watch him grow up. He came here, you know, pretty much a noob, you know, didn't know English that well, couldn't speak. He turned into such a man in front of my eyes. Grew up, became strong, smart, you know, socially amazing. He was my bar buddy. He was the man. And it just sucks because, you know, we got into a little beef, little problems towards the end. And I always thought that I would have time to say sorry to him. Call him up. You know, Alejandro, man, my dad, he's gone now. I don't have that luxury anymore. All I got is a freaking picture on the wall. But look around, we're all brothers here. There's no beef that's strong enough. There should be no beef at all with any of us. Because when they're gone, they're gone. I mean, he's gone now. But he's probably looking down at me saying, call me a bitch ass right now. Ah, man. He's a great brother. I think we all loved him. I know we all loved him. Even the younger brothers here, he was a great guy. I wish you guys got to know him, but you know, thank you for coming out. Thank you, Danny, and everyone else for you know, planning all this. Is amazing. And let's keep him in our memories forever, right? I love you guys.
A few in this room who have seen him when he was a pledge, and you know, there's these old guys up front who saw him as a pledge, and I guess I can count myself as one of those people too, because I'm old now, I guess. And he, like, one of my first memories of him was obviously like not me being able to understand him because of his accent, but I remember like one of the first tasks, like you have to you know, put together a contact sheet. This guy like did not even have a cell phone, so he like went out first day, like after like initiation, and like bought a cell phone and came back and said like, I have a cell phone. And so I guess we can thank AK Psy for whatever his cell phone plan. I guess with Alejandro, I not only got to spend time with him as a brother, but also as someone on e-board. And for anyone who's been in AK Psy, you all know that there's just like beef all the time when you're on e-board. Like, it's not fun to be on e-board at any time. Like, you go through all these issues of like getting onto e-board, and then when you get there, you're just like, F this, like, why did I because of all the politics and the cliques and the beef or whatever. And this week, I was bored at work, and I was just like, let me just whatever, look through like random emails of just these like nonsense emails between like eBoard at the time when I was around, and I just found like this flurry of emails of eBoard emails, and obviously like there are just like some talking and issues, and through it all, like I'll put it up front, like Alejandro and I like barely like agreed on anything. But the thing with Alejandro is when we say, I think AKSI is like one of those like organizations where you really have to separate like personal and professional when it comes to getting shit done. Sorry. But he really was someone who was able to do that. He was able to do that, and when you were dealing with him, he made you want to do that. He made you want to put aside all like the politics or whatever, and just, you know, there was a time for being brothers, and there was a time for being like running this chapter, and I'm going to call you out if you're not doing something right, and I want you to do the same for me. So it was just like funny reading those emails and seeing like he was blatantly like, you suck at what you're doing. But like as I was like, he would present it in a way where he wasn't calling you out. He was just, you know, I think he was such a gentleman about the way that he went about doing things. And I think that's something that we should remember about Alejandro. He wasn't, yes, he was fun, he was great, he was caring, but at the end of the day, he was a gentleman, and he was a brother, and he always put the brotherhood first. I forget who it was who said, like, he came here without a family, and we became his family. And he always put the brothers first, and I'm a little bit of a nerd, and I still remember, like, the creed or whatever. So I guess I'll end it by saying, you know, we recognize that we live in deeds, not years, in thought, not breath, in service, not in figures on a dial. And Alejandro, like AKSI was so much a part of Alejandro's heart, and I think that, yes, Alejandro is the reason why we're here, but I'm sure he'd be happy to see us here, knowing that not only are we here for him, but we're here for the brotherhood, and it's the brotherhood that's brought us back here. And so I think it's kind of ironic that that's our creed, and he's kind of a reminder for us that that's the organization that we joined, and it's what we stand for. So it's really great to see you guys, and I know he's equally as happy that we're gathered here for him. So.
I said to a bunch of you guys, it really sucks that this takes like something like this for us all to get together, but it's great to see all of you guys. Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend too much time with Alejandro while he was here. I kind of came in towards the end of his tenure, yeah. But it's funny because when I was pledging in, everyone was saying like, oh, like watch out for Alejandro, he's one of the older brothers, you always have to respect him, and you know, they made him sound like he's the scariest guy in the world, and they're like, do not mess up his name. Do not mess up his name. And I was like one of the first one of us to get a lunch with him. So I sit down with him, I'm nervous, I'm sitting there like checking my suit, checking everything, making sure I'm right. He comes down, and he's like, oh hey, what's going on? I'm just like, wow, you're really the nicest guy in the world. He was like the most mild-mannered, like, everything about him was just awesome. So thank you guys for making me afraid of him. But yeah, no, just the way he said, not only his name, his pledge name, everything. As soon as I sat down, I heard him say it, you know, I'm gonna butcher a little bit. Alejandro Majluf. And I was just like, oh, you're a total sweetheart. But no, man, definitely gonna miss him. And again, like I said, I was just able to spend more time with him. Did know him even better than I did. Oh, thank you guys.
Just to conclude this thing, just like everybody was saying, Brotherhood brought us here. Brotherhood is what drove him here and kept him here. And it is okay to mourn. It's totally fine and normal. But mourn in the right way and be happy that we got to know him, that we got to share this time with them. I want to do something a little unorthodox. So if everybody could just rise. And he's
been an awesome guy for every one of us. I got some very good memories with him, including tearing up the town of Philly with him and Joey. And I don't want him to remember us gathered just crying. So I want, if we could just give him a good round of applause for everything he's done for us, every love, every laugh, every smile, every bit that we could share with him that we remember of him. Let's give him one big round of applause, please. Thank you guys. Please enjoy the refreshments, sign the books, take a look around, and let's continue on.
For them, so we'll have a moment of silence to say whatever you'd like to say.
Oh no. No.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Aw.
Cool.
Nikki's going to sing a song that we all thought was appropriate to say and hand out the lyrics.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad that I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am, there you'll be. Well, you showed me how it feels to feel the sky within my reach, and I always will remember all the strength you gave to me. Your love made me make it through. Oh, I owe so much to you. You were right there for me. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am, there you'll be. 'Cause I always saw in you my light and my strength. And I wanna thank you now for all the ways you were right there for me. You were right there for me. For always. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am, there you'll be. And everywhere I am, there you'll be. There you'll be.
I mean, personally, I didn't feel like going out, but being here with all you, knowing that, you know, this is family. You know, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have known him. You know, I want to salute to Alejandro. Cheers to him. If anybody has anything else to say, no pity for you, brother. Love you. Love you.
Thank you guys.
Hey, oh, baby, let's go, 'cause we're gonna rock this club. We're gonna go all night. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite. 'Cause I told you once, now I told you twice. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite, yeah. Sometimes saying, oh, gotta let go. I wanna celebrate and live my life. Saying, oh, baby, let's go, yeah. Baby, let's go. I throw my hands up in the air sometimes. We're gonna rock this club, we're gonna go all night. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite. 'Cause I told you once, now I told you twice. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite, yeah, yeah, yeah.